I knew something inside me was breaking when I said my husband's name out loud and didn't recognize my own voice doing it. Not in the dramatic way people imagine. No shaking, no tears. Just a clean, almost quiet fracture, like glass deciding it had been holding itself together for too long. My name is Marianne Callahan, and I am still not sure whether I destroyed my marriage or just finally admitted it was already gone. The ballroom lights were too bright, or maybe my eyes were wrong. I kept blinking like that would reset what I was seeing. People were laughing, at least I think they were laughing, because there was this moment where sound didn't match meaning anymore. Frank was standing near the back, holding a tray of food. Stuffed mushrooms. I remember thinking, that's ridiculous. That a man can hold something so normal while his entire life is being taken apart in front of strangers. His shirt looked damp. I don't know why I noticed that first. I looked at it, then immediately looked away, then looked back again, like my brain couldn't decide whether to be guilty or just observational. Derek was beside me. Too close. Always too close lately. His hand was at my back, like I belonged in that position next to him, like it had already been decided somewhere I wasn't invited to attend. Nothing physical had happened between us yet. I keep repeating that sentence in my head like it changes something. It doesn't. Because the truth is, the physical part feels irrelevant now. The betrayal already happened in smaller decisions I stopped noticing because they were easier to justify, one at a time. Frank used to be louder in the house. Not literally, just present. Now he moved like he was trying not to disturb anything, even air. And I told myself that was peace. But it wasn't. It was absence forming early. I remember thinking that at the time and immediately pushing the thought away, like it was inconvenient. The room was full of people I wanted to be seen by. Judges, clients, people who nod slowly when you speak so you think you're saying something important, even when you're not. My suit felt too tight around my ribs. I remember adjusting it once, then again, then realizing I was doing it without thinking. Derek leaned in slightly and said something I don't remember. I only remember the feeling of his voice near my ear. Confident, certain, like nothing in the world could interrupt him. Frank walked toward me when I called him. He looked proud. That's the part I still don't understand. Why he looked proud. Like I had done something worth witnessing. For a moment, just a moment, I felt something stop inside me. Not guilt, not relief. Something more like hesitation that didn't know where to go. I almost didn't continue. Almost. But then I did, because stopping would have meant everyone would notice I had been performing the whole time. I picked up the microphone. My hand felt normal. That's what scared me later. Nothing felt dramatic. My body was cooperating with a decision my mind wasn't fully holding. Every successful firm needs its first contract, I said. People laughed. Not fully, like they were waiting to see if it was a joke they were allowed to understand. Then I heard myself say it. And mine will be my divorce. The sound in the room changed after that. Not silence exactly, more like people forgetting what their faces were supposed to do. Frank didn't move at first. That detail keeps replaying. Not anger, not shock, just delay. Like his body needed extra time to accept what it was seeing. He held the tray tighter against his stomach. I handed him the envelope. He didn't take it immediately. "Don't do this here," he said. Quiet, controlled, almost gentle. That's what made it worse, because I had prepared for anger, or begging, or something I could respond to. But not that. Not calm. I heard myself answer him, and I still don't know why I said it like that. You'll be fine. I didn't feel like me when I said it. He opened the envelope. Pages moved. Paper sounded too loud in a room pretending not to listen. People started pretending harder. Glasses lifted. Someone laughed once and stopped immediately, like they had been warned without words. Derek wasn't looking at Frank anymore. That was the first time I noticed his face not participating. Frank stopped on a page. Just stopped. Not dramatic. Not visible to anyone except me, maybe. But I saw it, and something inside me tightened, because I knew what was missing. 3 weeks earlier, my laptop had been open on the kitchen counter. I remember an empty yogurt cup next to it. That detail keeps coming back like it matters more than it should. Frank had seen the document before I was ready. Or maybe he had been waiting for me to finish writing myself into it. He looked up, not at the room, at me. And I felt, very suddenly, that I had been mistaken about something basic. Not about divorce, about how seen I actually was. He stepped toward the microphone. No hesitation this time. His voice was steady, in a way that didn't feel human. Read page 7. The room didn't go quiet. It went still. There's a difference. Stillness feels like it has weight. I felt heat rise in my face too fast, like my body was reacting before I could choose anything. Derek shifted slightly beside me. I think he stepped back. I can't prove that memory, but I feel it happening. Frank wasn't looking at me like I was cruel. That's what I expected. He looked like he had already accepted something I hadn't even finished understanding yet. Page 7. I didn't want to read it. Not because it was secret, because it was accurate in a way that felt humiliating instead of legal. And I think that's when it hit me, properly, that I had started building a version of reality where Frank was already less than what he actually was. It made things easier. That's the part I don't like admitting. Derek leaned in and whispered, "Say it." But I didn't hear him properly. Or maybe I did and just didn't want that voice inside me anymore. Frank set the envelope down, slowly, like he was done carrying anything I was going to give him. And I remember thinking, very clearly, very quietly, with no drama attached to it at all. This is what it looks like when someone stops trying to be understood. I didn't speak. I couldn't tell if that was strength or collapse, maybe both. The room stayed waiting, and I realized, with a kind of delayed clarity that didn't feel like wisdom at all, that nothing about this moment was about winning or losing. It was about how long a person can keep pretending they are someone they stopped being without noticing the exact second it happened. And I still don't know when I crossed that line, only that I was already on the other side when I finally saw it.